This was my hair at the beginning of this year. This is the craziest my edges have ever looked. It was so crazy. I needed to start doing something to it, and this is how my edges are looking now. My hair is still coming in. I'm so happy. I'm retaining so much length. I'm going to share with you guys all that I did to start retaining length. It's been a while. I've not given an update on my edges and how my journey is going. I know it's been such a long time, so it's only right that I give you guys an update because I'm coming with results. So the first thing I would say is that first, if you're starting out your edges, like you want your edges to start growing, start retaining more length on your edges, so the first thing I'm going to say is that you need to identify your problem, because if you do everything I mentioned in this video but you're still doing the same thing that you were doing before, like whatever problems you've been doing that be causing your edges to fall off. So I'm going to give you the things that I've been doing that has helped me. But first, identify your problem. So one thing I would say is that my problem was that the reason why I was losing my edges is because the first thing is that I didn't know what type of hair strands I had. So you need to know what type of hair strands you have, whether you have a thick hair strand or you have fine hair strands. I have fine hair strands, so doing certain protective hairstyles were too much. There was too much weight on my edges, so it caused my edges to start falling off. Have you ever done braids, and in between those braids you notice that your hair will literally just fall off from your roots, like your whole hair falling off? That is a sign that you should stop doing that protective hairstyle. So the solution I'm going to give for that, if you have fine hair strands, the solution I would give is start doing your hair. So what I mean by that, if you can't do your hair, you can get someone that is trained to take care of natural hair to do your hair for you, but avoid extensions. I know most people do not want to avoid extension, but trust me, there are so many versatile ways to make your hair and make hair look cute, look presentable, at the same time protecting your edges. So if you really want to start this journey, this is something that you have to sort of do for you to protect your edges, because you can be making changes to your routine, doing all this treatment, but if you're doing the wrong protective hairstyle for your particular hair strands, your hair is going to literally be falling off and you will never see progress in your edges. Because I've never had edges, I've never, like, throughout I've been natural, I never had edges on my hair, and it was something that I always wondered why. But when I realized that I have fine hair strands, it just really answered so many questions. So the first thing you want to do is stop that protective hairstyle. It's probably doing so much damage to your hair and your overall hair length too. If you want to get longer hair apart from your edges, try and pick a good protective hairstyle for your hair. I have so many hairstyles on my challenge. I can see this one. This is that hairstyle I just recently did. So there are so many different ways you can style your hair. I'll link all those videos for you to check out. So the next thing is that I made my own herbal oil at home. Herbal oil has so much benefits, and one benefit I'm really up for is that it helps to strengthen your hair. That's the reason why I started using this. It helps to strengthen and thicken your hair, so you want to make sure that your edges grow thicker and also stronger. So that's how you want it to be. Because I have fine hair, that's like one of the main goal for me using herbal oils. I've seen a lot of benefits on it on my overall hair, so I really wanted to try it, focus more on my edges with this. It's so easy to make. I have a full video on how I made this, but you can also watch these clips and just figure it out. But I use moringa, chepe powder, fenugreek seeds. I use moringa, then I used a big cap to sieve the whole shaft and everything. So I mentioned my herbal oil in the other clip, but there are so many ways you can use this, but in this video I'm using this as a hot oil treatment. Hot oil treatment is a very good pre-shampoo treatment. What I mean by pre-shampoo is something you do before actually washing your hair. It helps to keep your hair moisturized, and it also helps to strengthen your hair strands. You can see that I'm focusing more on my problematic areas, that's my edges, but I also went ahead to do the whole of my hair. But since this video is about my edges, focus on your edges and also the other part of your hair, because doing scalp massage helps to stimulate the blood flow on your scalp, which helps in promoting hair growth. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is being consistent and having a good routine. Your scalp health is very, very important in hair growth, so you need to make sure that you're washing your hair, your scalp isn't dirty, because you need to create a good environment for your hair to grow. And if you have so much buildup, it's going to cause your hair to have limited hair growth, so you want to make sure that you wash your hair. So I advise you, I wash my hair once every 2 weeks, but I also have a very, very good routine that I stick to, and I make sure that I do this every week or every other week. So you just want to make sure that you have a good staple routine that you focus on, because your hair thrives on routine. So having a good routine and being consistent is the key to retaining length and seeing a lot of growth on your natural hair and on your edges in general. Like, if you want to see progress, you need to make sure that you're doing something, like doing your routine, being consistent, and taking care of your hair. I always go with my scalp massager. Like, I always massage my scalp. It has so much benefits. I can't even talk about how much benefit it has to your hair. Just make sure that even if you don't have a scalp massager, you can see I'm also using my fingers. This is something that you want to do because it really helps in promoting the blood flow and helping with hair growth. I also go in with my oils, just to make sure to strengthen my hair and all of that. So just have a good staple routine. That's why I would say having a good routine really helps in promoting hair growth and retaining length, and to see results on your edges. It's pretty simple, but the one thing I would say is that, like the first thing I mentioned in the beginning of this video, that is your main problem. So once you figure out that problem, when you do all these things, you will definitely see changes to your hair. This thing I'm about to mention is very, very important. Never have a dry hair. You always want to make sure that your hair is hydrated, is moisturized, and there's some form of liquid or moisture going on your hair, because if your hair is always in a dry state, it is going to break. And one of the reasons why your edges are falling off or you're not retaining length on your edges is because they are dry. That is simply it. So you want to make sure that you have somewhat of moisture, or if you don't want to moisturize your hair, you can moisturize it. Just get water and hydrate your hair before you actually do your moisture routine. But make sure that you have a good staple moisture routine. That's one thing I would say. Your moisture routine is very, very important. I do my moisture routine like once or twice every week, depending on what type of hair I have. So if you have high porosity hair, that means your hair doesn't really retain moisture for longer periods. So that's why I always do my moisture routine like twice in a week, or anytime my hair feels dry, I go in with my moisture routine. And one thing I would say is that get products that work well for your hair. And one way you can do that is knowing what type of hair porosity you have. I have a more detailed video on this. I've spoken about low porosity and high porosity, but I'll just summarize it and say that low porosity hair doesn't absorb moisture, and it doesn't absorb moisture easily, but it retains that moisture. So you need to find products that are more water-based products, so that you don't get build-ups, to be able to your hair to absorb the product and the moisture for your hair. And for high porosity hair, our hair absorbs moisture easily, fast, but the problem is that we do not retain that moisture. That's why it's good to have a consistent routine and have a good routine and be consistent with it, because you want to make sure that your hair is never dry. If your hair is dry, you get split ends, and split ends contribute to hair breakage. So that's why your edges are falling off, or your hair in general. So you want to make sure that you have a very, very good moisture routine, and always do your moisture routine when your hair starts feeling dry. After a while, you know when you should go in with the moisture routine, because you can know what time your hair is going to need it. So just quickly do that before your hair won't get dry. So that's one thing I would say, because dry hair breaks. Just the hair that be ringing in your head. Dry hair breaks, so that you can easily go in with your moisture routine if you want to see so much length retention on your edges. The next thing I'll say is reducing the tension and manipulation on your edges. So that's why I mentioned at the beginning of this video, knowing how to make your hair is one way I was able to grow my edges out or see so much improvement in my edges. So I will say that if you cannot make your hair, make sure that you do low tension hairstyles. That's why I mentioned that you don't add extensions to your hair, but also reduce the manipulation on your hair. So that also like detangling your detangling process? Are you being careful when you're detangling your hair? Are you being rough when you're detangling your hair? So you need to make sure that you're reducing tension and manipulation, because you don't want to break your hair, or you don't want to see a lot of hair loss on your edges, especially your edges. That's what we're focused on in this video. So you need to reduce the tension and manipulation. And there's this habit I had like a while ago, or I'm still trying to stop, is playing with my hair. So unconsciously I just stay and play with my hair, mostly my edges. So it's something that I'm trying to like be conscious of. When I'm doing it, I immediately stop. So that's also a form of tension and manipulation. It can be in different forms, whether using extensions, whether you're just playing with your hair, or whether you're whatever wig cap you're wearing that's rubbing off on your edges. All those little things, they really easily matter. So little things make bigger problems. So with your edges, especially because they're so fragile, especially if you have fine hair, so you want to be really careful with it and reduce that tension and manipulation. And that's one of that tip or hack I'm going to give you. The next I'm going to say is very important, and most people overlook this, but your sleep routine is super important. You need to make sure that when you're going to bed, you actually put your hair in your scarf and in your bonnet. You do not want that, like I mentioned, tension or manipulation going on with your edges, and that can also be friction. So you need to make sure that your edges are protected before you go to bed. So always remember to put on your scarves, and always remember to put on your bonnet, and also if you can have a silk pillowcase. It helps in case you forget to wear it. And the reason why you should put on your scarf and your bonnet is, one thing is that your moisture, if you're sleeping on your bed, your bed sheet or your pillowcase can easily absorb the moisture on your hair, which can leave your hair dry. And if your hair is dry, like I mentioned, it breaks off. So you need to make sure you protect your edges from friction, and also from your bed sheet or your pillowcase absorbing the moisture on your hair. So your sleep routine is very, very important. And always, once you get a hang of it, you just unconsciously just put on your scarf and pillowcase. And the last thing I'm going to mention is patience, guys. It takes a while for your hair to grow, and it takes a while for you to start seeing actual visible change to your edges. So you just need to be patient, and trust me, your hair is going to grow. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you have any questions, I'll gladly answer them. So don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.